Josh Lewis plays like a man possessed, and it leads to a win over ULM. Let's talk about it here on Ragin Rundown. What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into another episode here on Ragin Rundown. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick, but you know you can always call me Fitz. If this is your first time making it to the channel, please hit the bell down below and subscribe so you know when we're dropping an episode. If this is your first time listening, please do me a favor and follow the podcast feed wherever you get your podcast from so you know when we're dropping episodes. And this very late edition of me recording it is 12:39 a.m. here on Friday morning, the night after Louisiana beat ULM in their second matchup here in Sun Belt Conference play. That's what we're going to be mainly talking about in this episode. And also I have more update for the UL football team now losing another staff member that is moving forward in their career. So we'll talk about that here on the show. But like I mentioned, Louisiana snaps a 2-game losing streak. They suffered back-to-back losses to South Alabama and Southern Miss. And a common theme in that game was not being able to finish, not finding ways to close the games out late. But they were able to do it against ULM as they would win that ball game 85-79. The overall notes from this game: freshman Joshua Lewis has a career night. He scores a career-high 26 points. He leads the team in rebounds with 9. And then after that, you have Dorian Finister scoring 16 points. You have Jackson Olvera getting in double figures with 10 points. And then off the bench as well, Darius Woodson coming in huge, shooting perfect from the floor, 6 for 6. And also, making a couple free throws as well, scoring 17 points to ultimately give you that win over the Warhawks. And it was truly important because, like I mentioned, they had suffered back-to-back losses, and going into a 3-game losing skid, you don't want that because you had snapped an earlier losing streak of 11 games. And so now you get out of that funk and not feel like it's here we go again. You try to get to a point to build some momentum, get back into a rhythm of playing good basketball, and potentially get things rolling again as you go down the stretch here in conference play, heading towards the conference tournament. So like I mentioned, after the game, we talked with coach and all of the players. And, one of the things that, like I said, focuses or what they were focused on in this game, and I talked about it in my pregame live shot on KETC, that the main thing that they need to do is be able to close out games late. And they were able to do that. And Coach Quantas White acknowledged that after the game.
I'm proud of our guys. We talked about finishing. The last couple of games we haven't been able to finish down the stretch. Costly turnovers. We turned the ball over tonight again. So not proud of that, but we found a way to finish. Guys were being more aggressive. They handled the pressure even after turning the ball over a couple possessions. And so, that was good to see because now that'll give guys confidence in going into the next game.
We're not losing. I think those other games that we've let up and that they hurt us bad. So I think this game we could not lose it. It was a could not lose game.
And definitely them last 2 games really hurt us. And this whole week in practice, we've been playing like scenarios just like last 4 minutes of the game just because we let those 2 slip. So in that last huddle, in the last media time, we were like, man, like we've been working on this all week like this. Yep. We've been going hard, man. So this where it's time to kick in. And I feel like that really helped us down the stretch.
So kind of just looking at the game flow of the contest, it was really back and forth all the way throughout. There was not really a whole lot of moments where UL was able to create an expansive lead. I think the biggest lead that they eventually built was somewhere in the second half, where I believe they built up an 11-point win somewhere around the mid-mark. I'm going back through the box score as I'm talking through this. They were 48-42 in the 14-minute mark in the second half. And then I think it was late. See, 52-45. I can keep getting it to scroll. 52-45, 63-55, 66-55, I believe was the largest lead that they had in this one. So that was an 11-point lead. Then they led again 71-60. 73-60, a 13-point lead would be their largest lead that they held in this one. And that was with about 5:25 to go. So you get to that point in the game and you kind of start tensing up a little bit, especially after the last two losses that you had. But it was important that in this victory, you were able to pull it out and finish. Aside from that, this was truly the coming out party for Josh Lewis. This is everything that Coach Quantas White believed he could be, which is why he recruited him. He believed in him as a kid that's coming from Florida, was a 4-star recruit, and comes in and he's in your starting lineup immediately. You believed that this is who he could be. He was extremely efficient. He was surgical in the way that he played, shooting 10 of 13 from the floor and really just getting it done in so many different ways. He was 2 of 4 from the three-point line. He made 4 of his 5 free throws, but then he also crashed the board. 5 defensive rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds. He got a block in there as well, and even an assist to go along with it in 31 minutes of play. So that's encompassing of what you want one of your best players on the team to be in. He is a young player. He is a freshman coming in here, and this is his first time experiencing college basketball. So it's going to take time. I think that's one thing that a lot of people are not valuing or are not, thinking about really, is that things take time. When you start something brand new, it's going to take time to build it from the ground up. And that's the same thing that's happened with this young man. But it was great to see him be able to pick up this victory. And for him, it was a moment that he just felt like had needed to really happen throughout the season. And he was grateful that it did.
I just felt great because I know what I can do, obviously. I do every day in practice, and just my brothers are always around me, always boosting me up, always just telling me to keep going. So to finally see it show in the real game on the court is just a blessing, man. But I just thank all my brothers and my coaches for always boosting me up and supporting me, and I just thank God.
So Josh Lewis drops 26 in the victory, but then on top of that, you get a huge boost from your bench play. Jackson Olvera has been coming off the bench for quite some time throughout the season, and he's been one of those guys that can come off the bench and provide a spark. But I think what the Cajuns had been missing for so long in a lot of these games that they've lost was that other player that can give you double digits or close to double digits coming off of the bench. And Darius Woodson was able to provide that. 6 for 6, perfect from the floor, 15 minutes of play. He was 3 for 6 from the free throw line. He hit 2 3-pointers for you. He had an and one situation in there. He got 4 rebounds as well. He did turn the ball over 3 times. But you were able to overcome that because of the scoring. As a team overall, the Cajuns turned it over 15 times, which Quantas White acknowledged that that's something that they cannot do, but you were able to outscore some of your mishaps. And on top of that, ULM could not put together a scoring run to eventually cut the deficit and then overtake the lead from you. So you got 34 points from your bench, 17 from Woodson, 10 from Jackson Olvera. Karis Bilal gave you 5, and then Jeremiah Evans gave you a bucket as well. So that really helped you to be able to pull away, is getting that second unit, being able to come out. They outscored ULM 34-16 when it comes to bench points. So that is a huge boost. And for Darius, he felt like this is something that he had also should have been able to do early in the season, but it seems to be clicking at the perfect time.
My confidence. I think my confidence clicked for me. I haven't been confident in these past games, and I think that's what helps me the most. So when coaches telling me to stay confident, that helps me. I was just confident tonight.
Darius, you can control 2 things, and Coach Sampson's always told me this: it's your attitude and effort, and that's the absolute truth. And so, what happens is when you give great effort and you play hard, good things happen for you. That's a recipe not just for basketball but for life. When you work and you put forward do the best you can and give the best effort that you can, good things happen. And that's what happened to Darius tonight. He played hard. He competed, and he got rewarded.
So coming into this game, ULM and Louisiana were both 3-13 on the season. ULM had yet to win a Sun Belt game, and now this extends their losing streak to now 7 straight games. UL improves to 4-13 and now 2-3 in Sun Belt play. Both of their conference wins coming against ULM. So now the next thing that they have to pivot towards is playing Troy on Saturday. And Troy is no joke. They are the #1 scoring offense in the Sun Belt with 85 points per game as the average, 85.7, which is a top 50 scoring offense in the country. So this is definitely going to be a huge task for Louisiana to take. And these are a lot of talented young men that the Trojans have on their team. Their leading scorer, Victor Valdez, is averaging 15.9 points per game. Then they have Thomas Dowd, who's averaging 15.7. Theo Singh averages 13.8. Cooper Campbell averages 13.7. And then Kobe Campbell is at 9.3. So you have 4 guys that can score in double digits on a consistent night in and night out basis. All of them are averaging about 40% from the shooting from the field. So they're scoring at a very solid clip in the way that they're playing. And then Thomas Dowd is averaging a double-double with 15.7 and 10 rebounds per game. So this is going to be a tall task for Louisiana to take. And if they really want to be competitive and have an opportunity to compete in the Sun Belt Conference Championship down the stretch, you're going to have to win big games like this. So you have them coming to your home turf. You have an opportunity to be able to beat them. They are coming off of a loss to Arkansas State that they just lost to. But in order for you to be able to win the Sun Belt, whether that be this season or to be further down the line, you're going to have to either be one of the better teams in the league or you're going to have to beat one of the better teams in the league. And right now, Troy is 3-1 in conference play. So Arkansas State gave them their first conference loss of the year. And that positions them tied for, I believe it's third place here, conference standing. So you got Georgia Southern at 4-0. You got Southern Miss 4-1, Arkansas State, Marshall, and Troy all there at 3-1. You have a log jam near the bottom. App State is 3-2. South Alabama is 2-2. Texas State is 2-3. Georgia State, Old Dominion, Louisiana, all of those teams are 2-3. And then you have James Madison with 1-3. Coastal Carolina 1-4, and ULM rounding it out at 0-5. So in order for you to, again, get a good seeding, potentially get a first-round bye there in the conference tournament and have an opportunity to compete and maybe go on some kind of Cinderella run, even though your non-conference slate wasn't good, you have to be able to win games like this. So it's going to be a tall task defensively that Louisiana has to take. But Quantas White, I am sure, is going to get his guys ready for that game, and they will be excited to play in that one on Saturday at noon. It's a doubleheader game. I cannot remember who the women are playing, but I'm sitting in front of a computer, so I might as well just look it up while I'm sitting here talking to you guys so I can have that for you as I am trying to ramble a little bit to get you there. They will be playing Texas State. It's a 3:00 tip, so you'll have Troy versus UL for the men at noon, and in the afternoon slate, you'll have Louisiana and Texas State battling it out. On the women's side of things, which it was a rough outing for them, I'll give them a mention here on the back half. They were leading ULM at one point in this game, as big of a lead as 16 points, but then in the fourth quarter, they were outscored 27-9. ULM went on a 16-2 run. And they suffer yet another loss, and they have not won a conference game yet. So it's been a rough go-round for Gary Broadhead and his team this year with a completely brand new roster, 3 freshmen, and the rest all transfers. You can see a lot of great moments throughout the game, and you can see that they are trying to put pieces together. But like I mentioned, when you're building something brand new, which for Gary, this is not his first season as the head coach, but this is a year for him that's completely different. Brand new coaching staff, other than Casey Cryer, being a part of his staff in the past. It's a brand new coaching staff, brand new players, trying to build into his system and everything like that. But the women do fall. So like I said, it'll be a doubleheader on Saturday at the Cajun Dome. We're going to take a quick timeout, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about a UL football staff member that is moved on from the program and is going to reunite with somebody that they're extremely familiar with. And we'll talk about that when we come back here on Ragin Rundown. So like I mentioned before we went to break, UL football is losing another staff member. Matt Bergeron was the first. He is now the offensive coordinator at Southeastern. And the second is now Connor Neighbors, who is moving on from the program. and is going to join Texas A&M. He is also going to be reuniting with his former strength coach and somebody that he also worked under in Tommy Moffitt, who is the director of strength and conditioning with the Aggies. And we've seen, what they were able to put together, being able to, run the table and make it to the college football playoff before they were, eliminated from contention. However, Tommy Moffitt was a part of a lot of the success that LSU had early on, back in those, 2010 teams that you think about and the talented guys that they had along the way. And Connor Neighbors played for LSU in 2013, 2014, played at fullback. And so now he is leaving the program after being there since 2021, a part of the strength and conditioning staff. He was originally an assistant under Mark Hawk, who will now assume the position, who will be promoted to director after returning from being at Florida with Billy Napier when he was there in Gainesville. Neighbors has been on the Cajun staff, or was on the Cajun staff, dating back to 2021. He took the lead role in 2022, and he helped with a lot of the innovation with sports science that the Cajuns, has been working with over the past couple of years. But for him, it's an opportunity to get back under the tutelage of somebody that he's worked with multiple times. And, for the Cajuns, they are promoting, once again, someone that is on the staff that they're familiar with, that they know the type of work that they're able to put in and what they're able to do in that position. So Connor Neighbors is moving on and will be joining Texas A&M. That's going to wrap things up here on this episode of Ragin Rundown. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have made it to this point in the video, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Like the video as well. Leave a comment, because that continues to help us grow along the way. If this is your first time listening, please give us a follow, rate us, leave a review down below as well, so whenever we'll drop an episode right here on Ragin Rundown.